Hey guys, this is Sarah, and this is the basics of coloring with watercolors. This is one of the stuff or one of the packages which I am coloring with, and let's pick any color here. I will go with blue. So here's something. If you are working with, for example, this glue, just keep on working with it, and when you're done, then change your wire, because the wire will turn into blue afterwards. Okay, so this is not really like a very fancy area over here. It's like one of my old notebooks. As you can see, it's really old. I used to study in that like the past year. So I use it, you know, sort of like recycling or stuff. This kind of thing also is great when you are practicing this kind of thing. It's true that it's kind of like normal paper, but oh, you're hearing that? That is a horse. It's 4 a.m. in the morning and there is a horse in the street. Haha. So anyway, I was working on that. Anyway, I'm using the same blue color over here. That's the one thing that I will use this entire video, and I'm not going to use another color until I change the water. As you can see, I'm not sure you can see this or not, but this is actually starting to get a little blue. So if I use another color like this color, it will have will be mixed with the blue and the water, and it will ruin it. So since we're using just one color at a time and we're waiting it for it to kind of dry, that's why watercolors takes too much. So basic tips about watercolors: you have to test out like different degrees, because you're using water every time, and sometimes like I do like this to bring like the excess water and just bring in. Like this color is already kind of have like some water in it. So as you can see, because I've lessened up the water, I have kind of like more of a texture, which kind of creates a darker tone. But if I wanted to have like a light degree like this one, then I'll just simply add more water and just... Oh, I actually added more, I dipped it more. That's another thing. When you dip more the brush, it will get more of the color, and it will get darker, as you can see. So that is why you should test out the degree of the color that you are like trying out. You have to make sure that the degree is the same, and every time you put in the brush in the water and then back into the color, yes, you need to have like a piece of paper to try it out. Let me show you something in this notebook. This is how many tries I did to make sure that my coloring is perfect for grass. Here are other things. Here's another tries. So I kind of use this to test out my degrees of my colors, to make sure that I'm getting the right tone that I want. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Let's try something else. We want to draw in this circle with this brush. Now here's the beautiful thing about this brush. Like if I'm trying, first I need to test the color out, and then I will start kind of like working in one direction. That is actually how I kind of color. And look at this. When I come to the edges, you see that it barely touches. Yes, there are some of them who kind of escaped outside, but it's not too much. If you go over with the pencil, an inking pencil, it's 4 a.m. so it's normal to listen to these kind of sounds over here. So it doesn't go over the edges, as you see. And to solve the problem of, first you have to wait for it to dry first. It will not look like this. It will look much better when it's dried out because, well, and the real thing is you're supposed to color in kind of one direction like this. It's like pencil colors when you're working with, within one direction. And just the edges like this. So once it's like, let's imagine this to be our black pencil because I don't know where I put my colors. So all you have to do is just go, after it dries of course, so you won't ruin your drawing or your paper, just go over it like this. So let's try to find it. It's somewhere here. I'm gonna take a minute. I found it. Victory's mine. So all you have to do, this is just an experimental thing, so you can try out, as much as you want, it's fine. Here what happens is when it's wet, the surface is kind of weird and hard to kind of go over. Let's try something that dried up. Let's see, this one for example. If you are inking over it, of course this is supposed to be kind of thin. It works great, and it kind of gives like a very live effect in some sort of a sense. Of course, you have to be sharpened like this. So, yeah, you definitely, when you're working with coloring, you have an image and you kind of inked it up, and it's like black and white with inking lines, and then you draw or you color with watercolors, and then the parts where you think that needs to be re-inked because sometimes the color lights up the dark lines, you just go over the lines with this pencil. Okay, so here is a trick that I've kind of learned if you want to add shading to your watercolors. And like normally what I do is I just go over a line here with a darker tone like this, but some people might find it difficult, so get a degree close to the color which you've used and just let's try in this one here, just add some extra lines for say like this. Now this is not exactly the color which is close to this one. I should try like this one would work. I believe this one would work great if we see that? They're in sync. So you can try this shading method by using pencil colors on the edges of the drawing you want to shade, and it gives almost the same effect, but this one will be kind of more precise. Like when I do shadings on a certain part, I kind of line it like that and I start filling it in. I did what I did here was kind of random. Let's try this over here. Here we go, I inked it, I lined it up, start filling it with lines, and voila, looks great, looks like 3D. So I hope this kind of helps it. I hope this was kind of the first using of two colors, or two type of colors together, pencil colors and watercolors. They don't have to be like a certain brand, anything will do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another video, so later. You see the water? It's blue because I've dipped it so many times. It became this blue.